Hey guys, Nate here doing just a quick video on how you can prepare for holiday sales. Now in my last video, I quickly ran over what I see as trends and what are going to be the best sellers for the holidays. So now I want to talk just from my e-com and marketing experience on how to best prepare for the holidays and ensure that your store can be one step closer to being successful. Obviously, Black Friday and Cyber Monday are huge deals for the general e-commerce realm. It's where a lot of stores are making the majority of their sales. In my experience, it's where a lot of my stores make the majority of their sales. I mean, we're talking 50 to 80% of sales for a lot of e-com stores come just around the holidays. So it's obviously a really big deal. So in this video, I want to break down just those fundamentals that you can act on right now that are going to help you this holidays. And so for my first perspective, I want to talk about just your website in general, your website and kind of mix in with ads and talk about just the user experience. So when someone comes to your store, you have a very, very small period of time that you can basically get them to interact with your store and get them interested in what you're doing. I mean, it's very small, like 0.2 to 0.5 seconds. It is not a very long time. So one thing to do very, very quickly is ensure that your page has a very good load speed. This is going to be good on the customer side and on the advertising side, because a lot of your typical marketing platforms are going to use that as an analysis of how well your site performs. A lot of marketing platforms are looking for site speeds of 1 to 2 seconds maybe, but I have rarely seen a store that has been able to hit that. That's a very, very small page. Essentially, if you want to put anything on your page, it's probably going to be a little bit quicker than that. But when I say optimizing for load speed, you're looking for maybe around that 3 to 5 second range. And I know $1 million stores that have site speeds of like 9 seconds. So it's kind of a big deal, but you just don't want to have like that 20 to 30 second load speed. And that's typically going to happen from things like broken links or just where the data is pulling from, or you do have a lot of links and a lot of really, really big images on that page that you're trying to get to load. That's something that you want to be able to scale it down a little bit, make sure everything is flowing very smoothly. Really, really easy way to do this is by using a tool called GTmetrix, or you can use Google Page Load Speed. I like Google Page Load Speed because it's going to tell you how well your site's performing on desktop and on mobile. But I like GTmetrix because it gives you kind of a waterfall view of how quickly your page is loading. Now, you might take your page and you might search it on your browser and you might say, wow, this loads really fast. What's the problem here? But that's not actually giving you the accurate data from how everything on your page is loading. So it's a really big deal that everything just loads really quickly, that the customer is able to see exactly what's going on, see that offer, and that it's really enticing for them to get in there and do that. So site speed optimization is a really big deal. And then making sure that you have that customer flow experience. A really big deal this time of year during the holidays is to talk about what's going on during the holidays. So your site shouldn't just be your normal everyday site that you've had during the rest of the year, but something that I talked about in past videos when I talked about things that are trends, talked about what is going on right now. So make sure your site is involving things like Black Friday or Cyber Monday or the holidays, and make sure that your site is talking about that. Maybe you have a Christmas deal or certain things going on for this time of the year, and make sure you add that into the touch of personalization. That's going to go a long way with customers. We try and really promote personalization throughout the year, but it's obviously going to be very important this time of the year as well, because personalization goes a long way with customers. So getting boggled with ads left and right, especially during the holidays when a lot of people are advertising, it's really important to have that personalization standard there. Same thing goes for your ads as well. Your ads should not just be everyday ads that you would run during the rest of the year. You should be focusing specifically on what is the offer and get your mindset kind of out of that idea of why am I getting them to buy, and get more into the mindset of why should they buy this for somebody else. Get into that mindset of gifting, because that's what the majority of people are buying during the holidays for. So make sure site is really up to that speed there, and make sure that you are focusing on gifting, personalization. Again, it's this time of the year that it becomes very important, because a lot of people are running ads. They're getting thrown ads everywhere, because remember, everyone's pumping up their spend for the holidays. So they're going to see a lot more ads, and it's going to be focused a lot around channels. Make yourself stand apart by that personalization and getting into that mindset of not why should they buy for me anymore or themselves, but why are they buying for someone else? A good way to get your social platforms really optimized is to make sure you're posting every day. Make sure that you are posting on your channels daily to your organic audience. And even though you might not get that much traffic from your organic audience, it's really important for social platforms to be able to see that you are an active business and you're not just starting up for the holidays. Again, it's not going to be the biggest factor ever, but it just helps. Anything that can help build trust amongst these platforms is going to be really good for you in the long term. Now, inside of user experience, make sure that it's a very streamlined process. Don't get too boggled down on SKUs or anything like that. Let's throw in 100 products and that will make me a ton of sales and stuff like that. There's a huge misconception that having more products on the store is going to get you more sales. Rather, you should be looking at what are maybe your top 2 to 10 SKUs that you're making sales from. There are companies making millions of dollars with just a couple of SKUs. You don't need 100 products. I see things like dropship stores all the time that have just so many, tons and hundreds of products. You don't need that for your store. Focus on that offer, tie it into a gift, talk about the holidays, and tie into what's going on right now and make sure it's a streamlined process to add to cart, to checkout, and to purchase. Make it as simple and easy as possible to educate your customer and move them along that process. Something where a lot of people get bottled up during the holidays is shipping. Now, we have a lot of changes happening right now with COVID in terms of shipping. We've seen shipping times extend out a little bit. And something that can really make or break your company is shipping times or just, shipping in general. So you want to make sure your customers are kind of aware of what's going on during, times of, what's happening right now and when they're going to receive their product. This should be something that is just very blatantly obvious on your site. Whenever they purchase, when are they going to receive that product or why? If you are having delays with COVID, make sure you tell them about that. I mean, these are people, right? Put it out there on your platforms, put it out there on your website, talk about your shipping times if you can. I like to give free shipping during the holidays. I've seen that it converts relatively well. I don't like that whole idea of, minimum order to ship, especially if you're selling a product for $60 or so, which is typically a good product to sell online. You don't really need them, in my experience, you don't need a minimum value in order to ship because to me, that's more thinking. It's more boggling down in their mind. It's more that they have to explore around. And to me, it's just to say, free shipping during Christmas. It's a great offer to just put out there for your holiday sales. And I think that could make a big difference. And I would say in terms of shipping, use a shipping app if you're on something like Shopify or WordPress, which WordPress you would have to, but just make sure you're using a shipping app. Don't use the proprietary shipping that Shopify gives you. I find that the best products are typically ShipStation or Shippo. I like both of those. I've never used the proprietary shipping thing inside of Shopify. It's just very easy and make it more streamlined because things like your manufacturers you can make logins for your manufacturers and just makes it a lot easier. So make sure your customers know shipping dates and make sure that they understand when they're going to get their product. Another huge thing for holidays, think about Christmas, right? If somebody's ordering a product, they want to make sure that they get their order before Christmas. Make sure you have on your site the last and final day that they can order to get it before Christmas because you don't want people ordering on the 20th of December or the 21st of December thinking that they're going to get the product before Christmas. That's a surefire way to tick a lot of people off and not want to order from you again. So make sure they're aware of that. Make sure they're aware of that final shipping date or that final order date in order to get it before Christmas. And the last thing to really talk about, and I talk about this in a lot of videos, I've talked about this in past videos, and it's something that I will probably promote forever, is to be on multiple sales channels. When I say multiple sales channels, I'm talking about multiple marketing platforms. Because again, the whole idea of marketing and the whole idea of getting your product out there and promoting it is, again, profitability. At the end of the day, it's all like making an investment, making sure that you're maintaining profitability. And so what I recommend to every client and what we do for every one of our companies is we always market on multiple platforms. Because again, I just made a video talking about what if Facebook bans your ad account? What if all of your traffic, everything is coming through Facebook? Well, then all of a sudden your traffic stops. Well, where do sales come from? They come from traffic. You need traffic coming to your store if you're an e-commerce store. The surefire way to do that is by marketing. So what I always recommend is expanding to multiple channels. Again, mitigates that risk. And even if you're just setting up something like retargeting, right? We call this the Tai Lopez method, right? If you ever saw a Tai Lopez ad, if you ever clicked on a Tai Lopez ad, you probably saw him everywhere on every platform. Google, you saw him on Facebook, you saw him on literally every platform that you went to because the man was just psycho. His marketing team was psycho at retargeting. And so I think that that's important for brands to start thinking in terms of that way to, again, to mitigate that risk. And this should ensure at least that during these holidays, that when people are coming on to you, they might see you, you might even have Facebook as your primary means of traffic. But even if you just set up something like retargeting to another platform, they're going to see you in more places. And again, you can just kind of keep that conversation going on different platforms and really being able to educate them and really being able to really give that personalization, the idea of gift giving, and be able to get them back to your site in order to convert them. Super big deal, mitigates the risk, ensures profitability. So I know I talked mainly a lot to e-com in this video, but I think a lot of it can apply to retailers as well in terms of just messaging and setting up offers and thinking about what you're putting out there at the forefront for the holidays. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you found value in it, make sure that you like and subscribe to my channel. It really helps me out with the algorithm. Thank you guys so much. Until next time.